Awesome. Welcome along. It's our Tuesday broadcast, but if you're watching the video, you're watching it some other time. So I thought this week a good topic to talk about since we've come through the holidays was Fun in the Sundays, which happened on the 27th, 28th and 29th of June. So the first week of the holidays. Trying to think of numbers. I think we ended up with 28 children, although one didn't come because they'd broken their arm the day before. They were coming from one day. So that takes us to 27, does it? Yes. Yeah. I think one of the joys for me, and I'm sure Rod would reiterate this, was that of the 10 Boys Brigade boys in the age group of Fun in the Sunday, we had 8 of them attend. So that was definitely very exciting to see all of them and to see them linking in, and was very excited when I was talking to one of their mothers after the barbecue and showing some stuff in the church, and she was saying, "Oh, youth group starts in grade 6, does it? Well, he'll be here next year." It's like, that's what we want to hear.
Excellent. Yep.
So let's hope that comes true. So yeah, I thought this would be a chance because everyone on this screen was there in some form or other to share maybe what were your highlights? What did you enjoy out of Fun in the Sunday? What do you think was, something that's worth telling others about? Maybe I should have prompted you beforehand to say I was going to ask this question, but I didn't. So you're just going to have to think off the top of your heads. So, yes. What stood out to you? What did you enjoy? What do you think worked well?
You changed the question on me.
Sorry.
When you first asked, I was going to say, what did I enjoy the most? Opportunity to serve was the answer to that. And then when you said you want to tell other people about, well, there must be something more interesting than just that.
You can tell them and they'll want to serve next time because you've enjoyed it so much.
Maybe that's the prompt. Yes. I was involved in a few things, and one of those was craft, which was always great fun. But I do really enjoy the group times, the opening basically, times when they are all together. Whether or not it's the play, but the music, the story, the acting, and just pulling it all together, and then obviously the things like the craft and the I didn't see the games, but I assume the games were at least they're able to relate to the theme. But obviously the craft definitely did, and chance of sharing that with them. So always those things. It's could always say the lunch was fantastic, the morning tea was great, and the coffee was superb. But it was certainly the opening parts that I do enjoy. I see the kids enjoying, and opportunity of some parents that might have hung around to see a bit of it too.
I think
my comments.
Yeah, excellent. I think the interesting thing out of the all together time and stuff, when we're in many of the all together times, whinging about singing. Oh, I don't want to sing that. I don't want to sing that. But we had like the theme song. I think Great Big God. Oh, God is Bigger and Big, and 10-9-8 as the videos for the video recap, the songs for the video recap in the end of the night, and they were belting them out, singing along. It's like, well, why didn't you do that at the rest of the week when we've asked you to sing them? Why? But at least the parents think that they enjoyed the songs. So,
yeah.
Yes. Look, they're singing it now. They must have enjoyed it.
I can tell you half those songs, my girls, who obviously it's between 15 and 25 years since they've been actively involved in it. They still sing along to those songs without knowing the ones that we were doing ourselves. They are very similar, if not the same. So they certainly sing along to it still, and cause the whole household to erupt into the choruses if we remember them.
Awesome. Other things that stood out.
I think the kitchen was quite good. you seemed to have a good team that came around, and I helped wherever I could.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. I think we've developed, and particularly Josie's pulled together a wonderful team that works in the kitchen, and I think we're very lucky to have a number of people in church cooking things, because you can go and buy a whole heap of packaged stuff, but there's something special and nicer about something that's homemade. So yes, big thank you to all those that cooked, one of whom is in the same house as Rod at the moment. So thank you to her.
Years in somewhere, yep.
So
Probably cooking something for supper.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something for us, but no.
Well, you can have that too, yes. Yep.
What time should we be over, Rod?
Yeah, after home group finishes 9:30.
I know, in bed by then.
Sorry.
Cool. What else stood out?
I like the theme.
Mm-hmm.
And the red group, at least, there was no friction. There was no put downs. There was no negatives. There was no, and there could have been for that group. There wasn't any. And, behavior wise, it just felt nice. It felt good. And yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I was just trying to think. Someone mentioned something about the feeling of Fun in the Sundays. I can't remember who it was, so I can't quote them. No. Anyway, someone was saying how there's
certainly have to comment that the decoration, do you call it that, or the backdrops were superb.
Yes.
Amazing.
Steps are awesome.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
They're really good. In fact, a few people that I know that didn't have kids yet, but had come along and just say, wow, look at all of this. Just really made it. And it wasn't just a drawing stuck in the corner. There was multiple of everything, three-dimensional as well as painting and stuff you can touch. Yeah, it was very, really brought you into that may be the feeling, into the mode, into the feeling of what we were doing. Yep.
Yeah, and added to each day, which is even more. I guess I think I forget where I said it, but it was that sense of, if I was in charge, there'd be like a test tube on and that would be my set decorating. But Stephanie was in charge of that, so it was far greater than a test tube. Yeah, I think one of the encouraging things was Steph was talking to me on Wednesday and saying that in her group, I think it was Wednesday, and they were talking about, and they started asking her, how did you become a Christian? What? And so she was able to share some of her testimony and stuff, and so she sort of talked about, you might want to do that, and she prayed a prayer with them, and got to follow up with her. She was going to follow up and see if anyone had actually prayed along with that or whatever. But yeah, that sign that we were engaging and it was getting them to think. The older group, they were actually, what does this mean? What does it mean that this God has created everything and we can follow him? And they hadn't even got up to the talk about the robots and the prodigal son, and we can choose to follow. So good that they were preempting that and getting there first. So that was encouraging.
Yeah, good. And they're willing to ask those questions.
Yes.
I had lots of parents say, so when's the next one?
I'm
like, not till next year.
Excuse me a tick. I just got to go fix something.
Okay.
Go for it. Yes. Kylie was saying that a number of them said, the kids were saying, so is this on next holidays? It's like, no. Too much effort to do it every holidays. But yeah, it's good that we can do that and build, and yes, definitely that connection with some of our brigades and other groups. How do we continue to build those connections in and see them building and going? I think it was, and I'll get actually all of you might comment on this. I think the game stuff this year worked better than the Olympics, because I think the Olympics became a bit too competitive, and when you had some in a group that were competitive and others that weren't, you then got teams that were grumpy at each other, whereas this was play along. If you don't want to play along, just sit and watch. I don't really care. So, yes.
Would have been nice for a bit cooler weather. But,
I guess when we call it fun in the sun, you're in trouble. Yes, we did actually get really warm weather. So, but at least we're not doing it like, I think it was 2020 when we did it in October, and it was like, we're never going back to there again.
No.
And it was nice to tie in, because I hadn't tweaked that it was around NAIDOC week when I thought, let's do Indigenous games as well as around the world games. And so it was nice. Look, pretended that I'd sort of thought of such things.
Very good.
And I know Jess Pinkerton, who is, I think, mission engagement person for children's, youth, family, young adults and families at Synod, and is youth and families person at Emmanuel in Enoggera. Came and visited us in that afternoon, and she sent me an email wanting my resources for all the games and stuff. So I sent that, and she's like, "What's the videos?" It's like, so now I've been going back through YouTube finding the videos that I downloaded. It's like, just go and look for yourself, you lazy. No, so yeah, that's again that encouragement when others come in and go, "Oh, we see that this was helpful and good."
So what's her role? Mission engagement at Synod, Youth and Children's Ministry. Mission engagement, is it?
I think so. Like she started with just, I think, sort of the kindergarten type stuff, and then it's expanded into, I think, children's, youth and families. She's definitely now heading up the children's youth, young adults and families working group that comes out of the Project Plenty stuff. But yes,
so they go children, youth, young adults. Okay,
yes. So we're
progression.
CYYAF.
Yep. What we're going to do add now is the oldies, the middle age, the oldies.
That's right.
We'll
just
cover the
plonk it
whole
all in
there.
Right.
Okay. So what does mission engagement do? And I'll ask that question in terms of to you, but also then to the other three of us on screen. So does she just work for things for other youth ministers, youth pastors, etc., or does she do things to engage, particularly churches that don't have a youth pastor? How does she engage with those churches?
Yeah, so a bit of both would be the answer. So one of the projects that we've been working on, it was putting together a survey to send out to all the churches to discover who's got what, because you quickly discover that Synod doesn't know what's going on around. Sorry, did I say that out loud? And so, yes, what have you got? What's happening? But also in that, do you have an appetite for, and how might we support you in doing that? So maybe you don't have any children's or youth stuff, but you'd like to start stuff. How can that support? And yeah, let's see if I can remember the goals that we're working through, and we're actually meeting tomorrow for a planning day type thing, looking at how do we build up the network of those who are involved in children's, youth and families ministry across the Synod, rolling out a framework, which has been decided upon, the Here to Stay, and then that's expanded to the whole of the discipleship area, because everyone's gone, oh, look, this applies to everyone, as we continue to say. Yes. Yeah, I think one of the goals is like putting together a yearly event, but that's probably been pushed down a bit in the priority list of, we probably won't get onto that straight away. The others are probably higher priorities. So that might answer your question. So yes, trying to engage what's happening and how do we support what's going on and how do we help others. But yes, her as part of a larger team for that.
And that's only
think
part-time, isn't it?
that's only part-time. So it's a couple of days a week or something. So yeah.
Mm.
But at least it's a start from nothing, which about
Oh, yeah.
12 months, 18 months was. From the good old days where I know when I started in the Uniting Church, Queensland was the pinnacle for children's and youth ministry. And then I got up here, it's like, is there anyone else?
Yeah. Yes, it got undermined a bit.
Yes. But anyway, back to Fina Sunday. Unless Rod wants any more answers to.
No. That's it was good. It was good to see her. I must admit, I turned round. Hope she's not listening to this. I turned around and looked because you said Jess, and I thought, oh, you got 96.5 out here. I'm thinking, that's not Jess. That's not Jess. Then I realised what Jess you were talking about. So it was good from that point on. But whether she saw my face looking very worried, she's not who I thought she was. Yeah.
There you go, Jess. If you're watching, that's what the puzzled look was. It's not that.
Yeah. Yes, sorry, Jess. There is. Yep.
Any other highlights people had or stories that they'd like others who might be watching this later to hear? We didn't get any. In fact, I don't know that we got any injuries the whole week, but particularly we didn't get really any injuries at Billy Cart. So that was good.
That was both amazing and a miracle. But yes.
Particularly with one person, but
yes. Next time we will start somewhere else and go very slow, I think. Yep, it was, but it was interesting that you can get an impression of someone's excitement, ability, and all those, and they could all be wrong. And I think there's other people in that group, and they're thinking there was the way they were talking, I was thinking, oh, they've done this before, they've been involved. And then when someone else says, oh, no, never been on a billy cart before, you go, obviously a very different from the way things they were saying to, I won't say reality, that's not quite the right thing, but what they were saying to what they had previously experienced was quite different. What I was hearing to what they had actually experienced was quite different. Yeah. I assumed it was all gun-ho, but it was far from it in some cases. One of the things I was impressed with is some of the people that come back to assist, and just seeing the number of cakes that were decorated and other activities like that. And the fact that we do still give the electives, even if there's only 2 boys or 2 girls who want to be doing it, opportunity of still doing that elective.
Yeah.
And I was impressed by the impact of what not to do, how it carried over to the next day, with younger brothers having done things at home and other people wanting to learn. And okay.
Yes, we've got
watch
some
out
lovely
next
photos
time.
of Rod surrounded by boys at afternoon tea, I think it was, doing
Yeah,
knots.
somewhere there, or lunch or something, wanting to tie knots, and yeah, which was good that they had that. It wasn't forced upon them; it was their choice to come and ask and to learn.
Yes, yeah, no, yeah, it was definitely exciting to have a number of different electives this year. So yes, it was wonderful and amazing to have Tinky back doing cake decorating. Like, I think I'd given it a 9. It's like, it's probably too many. And then it's like, can you do 11? Because I'd stuffed up and put one elective on the wrong day and had to move it. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. And it's like, cool. So yes. And the reaction from parents of like, oh, I thought we were going to get like a cupcake or something, and we got a whole cake. And it's like, yeah, no, it's cake decorating you.
That's what it is. Yep.
That's right. So yeah, it's very exciting to have that, a few different people coming in and doing things. And it was really interesting, like you were talking about the 1 or 2 doing it. So Katrina and Talia Bielenberg came in and they only had 1. And I thought, oh, they're going to hate this. And at the end of the day, they're like, oh, that was so much fun. We're coming back next year. It's like, good.
Mm.
Because it would have been easy for them to go, well, what was pointless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Especially would have been fun with the treasure they had, but
I can't recall who they had, but obviously they engaged to some
yes,
extent, which was good. Mm.
yes, yeah. So
And she was showing it off in the red group, and everyone was like, "Wow!" So
There you go. Okay.
I loved it.
mm,
Actually, I like the input of the stuff. It led to easy conversations and discussions, even for the Lilies, because we only had a really short time period of concentration, really
Mhm.
little, and it was able to be used. Like, your stuff was really good, how you adapted it and stuff like that. And the activity books, I loved that they had something to do in the booklets, like the spot the differences and the mazes. So that was very useful.
yeah. So most of that was all the Scripture Union stuff that I just hacked and no, I won't say that because they might watch this and we might get
Just noticed it's 27.
yeah. So we better get going so that Rod can go to his group so he can have supper afterwards. So thank you for your
Yes.
thoughts. We'll continue to hear at some stage shortly. We will have a review meeting. Steph messaged today and said, is this a review meeting or what? It's like, no, it's just our normal Tuesday discussion, but we will have a review. So we will have a review at some stage. So if you're watching, we'll get round to that.
But Steph is always welcome to these anyway.
Steph is always welcome to these. We'd love to have her input. We'd love to have, if you're watching later and think, I could actually be there on Tuesday, join us on Tuesday. We'd love to have your input. Thank you all, and we will see you around sometime. Catch you all later.